of a Republican Party that has been bent on branding itself as the party of those who are white Republicans, which means they are in suburban areas, away from urban areas. The subtle signals of antipathy toward black people and brown people and others has been there all along. You haven't addressed the fact that it's been generated from within, not something coming from without. Donald Trump is a problem from within the Republican Party, not outside of it.
We could do 2 hours on this, and I would love to listen to you guys hash it out, but unfortunately that's all the time we have. Mary Catherine Ham and Michael Eric Dyson, thanks to both of you. Really appreciate it. Good to have a good debate on the show. You can learn more from Michael in his book, Long Time Coming, Reckoning with Race in America. Thanks so much to both of you. Democrats taking the next step to pass a COVID stimulus bill. What this means for Americans who are desperately waiting for those relief checks. Stay with us. In our politics lead today, Democrats are moving forward without Republican support to fast-track that $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. This comes after a 2-hour meeting that President Biden held with a group of Senate Republicans. It does not seem like the GOP will get the kind of compromise they're looking for, however, as CNN's Caitlin Collins now reports.
Thanks for coming down.
The looming question of whether President Biden will go big or go bipartisan on the next pandemic aid bill seemed to get an answer today.
The risk here, as he has said many times, is not going too big. It is going too small. He supports the efforts by Senator Schumer, Leader Schumer, and Speaker Pelosi to move this package forward.
Party leaders are laying the groundwork to pass Biden's $1.9 trillion package without Republican support. Following a virtual meeting with Senate Democrats today, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said Biden dismissed a counteroffer from Republicans.
He said that he told Senate Republicans that the $600 billion that they proposed was way too small.
Republicans left a 2-hour meeting at the White House last night, upbeat but with no agreement in hand. The White House said Biden stands by the price tag they urged him to scale back.
After the discussion in the Oval Office last night, is the number from the White House still $1.9 trillion?
It is.
In the next hour, Biden will sign 3 executive orders designed to roll back former President Trump's immigration policies.
We are trying to repair the damage and the horrific actions of the prior administration.
Biden will create a task force aimed at reuniting hundreds of families still separated as a result of Trump's zero-tolerance policy, a major challenge given the government has struggled to find many of their parents.
We are starting at, square one here.
Biden blasted the policy while debating Trump last fall.
Kids were ripped from their arms and separated. And now they cannot find over 500 sets of those parents, and those kids are alone. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. It's criminal.
Leading Biden's effort to reunite families will be the first confirmed secretary at the Department of Homeland Security in almost 2 years. The Senate confirmed Alejandro Mayorkas today.
And Jake, on top of that, Pete Buttigieg confirmed as the transportation secretary. That means 6 of Biden's nominees in his cabinet have now been confirmed by the Senate. But this is all about to come crashing to a halt when Donald Trump's impeachment trial, his second one, gets started in the Senate next week and takes up all of their time.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much. Another COVID vaccine issue, battling misinformation and lies, including the false link between Hank Aaron's death and people now refusing to get the shot. Stay with us. In our Healthy Today, new CDC data shows that white people and women were vaccinated more in the first month of vaccine distribution compared with people of color and men. As for why, well, the infamous Tuskegee experiment has created a lot of well-earned mistrust of the medical community, particularly in the black community. The skepticism is breeding new online conspiracy theories even, including a lie about the recent death of baseball great Hank Aaron, as CNN's Ryan Young now reports.
I do believe in COVID. Yes.
At Playmaker's Barbershop in Atlanta, the tight fades are blended with energetic and sometimes loud discussions about who's the greatest basketball player of all time.
My name was Giannis before the basketball player.
But now COVID-19 stimulus checks and the COVID vaccines are talked about just as passionately.
I really don't trust it because it actually came kind of fast.
Barbara Giannis Willis feels strongly that the development of COVID-19 vaccines was rushed and comes with serious side effects.
People that take it, they had Bell palsy.
Outside the shop, James Harris had other concerns.
I know the doctor took it and killed him. And this nurse I know live here, she killed her.
While the CDC and FDA are looking into those and similar claims around the country, Harris and Willis' beliefs underscore a serious concern for Fulton County Health Director Lynn Paxton and her team, who are fighting the misinformation online about as hard as they're battling the virus itself.
This vaccine is very effective and very safe.
But it's not easy, especially when rumors spread on social media, like posts claiming baseball legend Hank Aaron died from the vaccine because he received his dose publicly days before passing away. He didn't. The Fulton County Medical Examiner says he died from natural causes. But many in Atlanta's black community believe the claim, forcing health officials to speak out.
I think it's just important that we quell these kind of rumors.
Which is why Paxton's team is now distributing information in these communities.
Seek out trusted sources for information about the vaccine. Facebook and your neighbor next door's postings are not trusted sources.
Health officials worry misinformation could complicate the process of getting shots in the arms of black and brown communities. New CDC data from the first month of vaccination shows black and Latino people lagging way behind, and the state's reporting racial breakdowns. So far, 60% of those vaccinated are white compared to 11.5% Latino and just 5.4% black.
You're not giving me the option. You're trying to dump it on me.
Misinformation isn't the only issue. History is also a major factor for some, including these black healthcare workers who are still on the fence about getting the vaccine.
The hesitancy with the African-American community goes back to the willing malpractice on African-Americans, i.e. the Tuskegee experiment.
The awful decades-long study where black men with syphilis weren't informed or treated, now playing a role in the uphill battle health officials face and trying to convince an already skeptical community to get the COVID vaccine.
Let's face it, it was a crime against humanity, what happened then. But that happened ages ago. And because of it, it completely changed the landscape for research.
Jake, we are in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is where they're doing a mass vaccination. And so many people line up every single day, maybe close to 1,000 today, but a lot of black people are not showing up. They're talking about going to barbershops. They're talking about getting into the community to talk to more people. I was also told that maybe more sort of sit-downs where people could actually have some conversations about their concerns may help. But this is very tough because obviously they need more people to get those shots.
That's
Jay?
right. All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Vladimir Putin's biggest critic is now headed to prison, but not before he branded the Russian leader with a new nickname. That story next. In the Worldly today, a judge in Moscow, part of what critics called a kangaroo court, sentenced Kremlin critic and opposition leader Alexei Navalny to 2.5 years in prison. Navalny called Russian President Vladimir Putin a, quote, little thieving man, and Putin the poisoner. CNN's Fred Pleitkin is outside the courthouse in Moscow. And Fred, at least at one point, Navalny said today, quote, you cannot lock up a whole country, but it does seem like they're trying to lock up a lot of the country today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jake. It certainly seems like they're trying to lock up as many people as possible. In fact, what happened after that verdict came down is that the folks around Alexei Navalny, they called for people to march here to the area where I am, near the Kremlin, and Vladimir Putin's apparatus just unleashed a massive amount of cops here. They surrounded the entire Kremlin, then went street to street and really detained an unbelievable amount of people on the streets, often surrounding those people. A count that we've gotten from an independent organization says that more than 750 people were detained in Moscow today alone. And you're absolutely right. Alexei Navalny says he still believes that he and his supporters are in the majority. You could hear motorists here in Moscow honking as they were driving past, seemingly giving their support to the folks around Alexei Navalny. I want to read a little bit more of that quote that he said there in that trial today. He said, quote, I hope that people don't think this is a trial as a reason to be more scared. You can't jail millions of people, and I hope one day they realize that, and when they do, all this will crumble apart, he said. And then, of course, he was sentenced to spend at least 2.5 more years in prison behind bars. He was then taken away in a van surrounded by police cars, and then obviously will serve that time, even though his lawyers have said they want to go into revision. Jake?
All right, Fred Pleitgen in Moscow, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Today we want to take a moment to remember one of the younger victims in this pandemic. J.J. Boatman of Vernon, Texas. He died suddenly of COVID just weeks after his 9th birthday. His parents described J.J. as the life of their home, an excellent student, excited to learn how to skateboard and play tennis. J.J. had no known underlying conditions, and he died only one day after he started to experience mild COVID symptoms. What a heartbreaking story. May J.J.'s memory be a blessing and a reminder of the cruelty of this pandemic. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jake Tapper. You can tweet the show at The Lead CNN. Our coverage on CNN continues right now. I will see you tomorrow.